भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः तस्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Every section of Mundaka begins with some shabda and mantra. Earlier it said Divyo Hyamurtah Purushaha. And then it said Yattadreshyam Agrahyam, etc. That's like that. Each section points out the self which is beyond the words and the mind. The same thought he continues here. Yat param vignanat prajanam. Prajanam vignanat yat param. So that is above all the knowledge of the people. Means all the objective knowledge. Means that which is not available to be known through the means of knowledge. What is it? Avissannihitam guhacharam nama mahatpadam atra etat samarpitam. Okay. He said, what is the Atma? He says, Avihi Prakasha. It is of the nature of light. Light is in a sense of self-effulgent. Light is in a sense of self-revealing itself. That which doesn't require an agency of mind or sense organ to know. I know I am, full stop. That is Avihi. And where is that light? Sannihitam. It is very close. Where it is? Guhacharam. Nama. It is very well. Nama means well known. It is well known that it moves in a cave. In a cave, we have said earlier, cave is a figuratively used word. What does the cave means? Cave is full of darkness. Similarly, the buddhi is full of ignorance, self-ignorance. Human problem is this, that I am useless. I am dukhi. I am limited. That's a human problem, which is caused by self-ignorance. And that is addressed by Upanishad Vidya. Brahma Vidya addresses this fundamental problem of self-ignorance. And when the ignorance is removed, one discovers that aham purnaha, aham ananda. Nowhere to go, nowhere, nothing else to do. All the problems of caused by insufficiency, self-insufficiency. The problem is centered on I, and that I is addressed, and that I, the obtaining I, who thinks I am limited, that itself is a guha. That itself is a kosh, you can call it. It covers the self, which is self-effulgent, as though covered. And since it is covered by ignorance, it is called guhacharam. Okay? Mahat padam atra etat samarpitam. That is mahat padam. Mahatvat padam. Padyate, gamyate, prapyate, sarvaihi. That which is fullness, that which is gained or sought after by all of us, and that is same one, ejat pranat Nimishacha yadetat janata sadasat varenyam. Prana apanadivihi. Pancha pranai. All the movement of the pancha prana is caused by it. Its existence is as though revealed by the movements of the prana. And Janath, may you know sadasat varenyam. That which is, it is, it is beyond what Sat and Asat, Murtam and Amurtam, manifest and unmanifest, the gross and the subtle, it is beyond that, and that is Vignanat Varishtham Prajanam, Varenyam, Bru Varenyam, that which is to be worshipped, that which is to be sought after, that which is loved. What is it that we love is Ananda. What is that we seek is Ananda, that fullness. Therefore, it is called Varenyam and Varishtham, Sarva Dosha Rahitam. There is no doshas in it, there is no blemish in it, nothing. It is Nitya Shuddha. And he says further, Yadarchimat Anubhyo Anuhu. From its Archimat, it's in the form of light itself. Please understand, whenever in the Shastra the word light is used, it implies knowledge. Whenever in the Shastra revelation is used, it implies self-revealing fact. Ahamasmi, I know that I am. You don't need any agency of sense organs or external light. Therefore, it is light. It's not a substantive having a quality as consciousness. Understand this? Body has sentience. But then a consciousness per se is not a quality of something, some substantive. It is natural consciousness. Body's sentiency is incidental because of antakaranam and chaitanyam. So, yad archimat, it is ever shining. Light or shining words means of the nature of knowledge. Which knowledge? It reveals itself. We can call it self-awareness, self-consciousness. That is called light. Anubhyaha anuhu. Anubhyaha anu means you cannot see through eyes. At the same time, it is not seeable. So subtle that you cannot see through agency of the eyes or through any instrument. And is it so tiny? Is it so small? No, no, no. Yasmin lokaha nihitaha. Yasmin lokinascha nihitaha. Anubhyo anuscha. Their chakara means it is smaller than the smallest, subtler than the subtlest, and bigger than the biggest, larger than the largest. That means there is nothing beyond it. That means everything is because that is. Okay? Everything is because of that is. That is why it is called Anubhyaha Anuhu Mahadbhyaha Mahat. It is bigger than the big and smaller than the small. Why it is said bigger than the big? Yasmin lokaha lokinascha nihitaha. Is, all the lokas and lokinas are abiding in it. It is a very substratum. It is the existence which provides existence to all the lokas. And then sapranascha tadetad aksharam brahma. That is the Brahman. He Saumya. That is tadetat satyam tadamrutam. That is Brahma, Aksharam Brahma. That Aksharam Brahma is to be known as Amrutam, is to be known as Satyam. That means this Aksharam is to be understood by this Brahma Vidya, by this Paravidya. And then it is Satyam. That means not subject to negation. It is not subject to any kind of negation because it is the very truth of everything else and yourself. And that being the case, Satyam, Tadetat Satyam, answer this whole question, where is Brahman? Itself is improper because the very questioner is Brahman. The person who asks, where is Brahman, is Brahman. The very existence of the questioner is borrowed from the Brahman, which is Satsvarup. The sentiency of the questioner who asks is nothing but the consciousness of the Brahman. So that is where is Brahman? That means you are Brahman. Anything that our definition of truth, I think I have told earlier also. I often keep telling this. What is Hinduism? What is Upanishad, the vision of Upanishad? What is the essence of all the Shastras? It is one sentence. Whatever is manifestation of Brahman. That's it. Whatever is nothing but Brahman. In other words, you can say, often Bhagavan Bhashyakara uses the word Ishvara also for Brahman. Whatever is Ishvara. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarva. And if I go to international conferences, I say, everything is an expression of one divine. You don't define divine, but say everything is an expression of one divine. And we are all nothing but divine expression of one divine. That is Hindu vision. Full stop. Yadasti, whatever is, whatever was, and whatever will be, is nothing but Ishvara. Nothing else than Ishvara. That is why that question itself is improper. And the Acharya says, Tad Lakshyam. That is the Lakshyam. That is the goal. It has to be targeted by you. Tadamrutam tad vedhavyam. Tad vedhavyam means, hey Saumya. That should be the goal. That should be known. Vedhavyam. Attained. How? With thee. By knowledge only. Since it is not away, it is the truth of everything, not separate from me. It is not something to be gained in space, in time, in different situations, in different avasthas. No, it is you. So what is that? I can't tell to people in conferences. The message of Hinduism is whatever is nothing but expression of Ishvara. And then second half of the sentence is, that is you. That is you. Whatever is non-separate from me. That is full stop. That is non-duality. This is Advaita. That's a vision, our Hindu Dharma. That is what to be attained. So that is the purpose of all our so-called sadhanas, all our religious practices, and all our spiritual practices, all our spiritual endeavors. Religious practices involves all the prayers and all that, And then you need pure mind. And then you need a focused mind also. Therefore, you need to do upasana. Upasana leads to focused mind. And then that mind, when studies Shastra, not only focused, but you get little subtlety also. Sukshmata is also necessary. Tad vedavyam. That means that should be the lakshyam for a karma, for a grahasti, one who is doing karma. Karma yogi as one who has only this as an objective. Upasaka is a one who has only this as an objective. For to address the chanchalyam of the mind and to own up my Swarupa. Tad Viddhi, Tad Vedavyam. Okay, Tadetat Satyam. And that being the fact, Tad Vedavyam, that should be gained. That means Tad Viddhi. Whenever in Shastra it is said that you have to know with Brahman, you have to gain Brahman, you have to reach Brahman, Yad Gatvana Nivartanta, etc., etc. It only means you have to know Brahman as yourself. That's the only solution. And for that, it gives some simile or upasana. It says, Dhanur Gruhitva Upanishadam Mahandam Upanishadamahastram Sharam Shupasa Nishitam Sandhiyat Ayamya Tadbhavagateena Chetasa Laksham Tadevaksharam Saumya Viddhi Pranavo Dhanusharo Yatma Brahmatan Lakshamuchyate Apramattena Vedavyam Sharavat Tanmayo Bhave. Veda mentioned about Omkara. Okay? And then in Upanishad also there is a lot of discussion about Omkara. Some similes give. Says, Dhanur Grahitva Upanishadam Mahastram. May you have a bow. What is a bow? A simile. Bow is what? Upanishad is a bow. Upanishad means what? Upanishadam. Upanishadam word is there. You know, Dhanur Grahitva Upanishadam means Upanishad Upadesha. The teachings of Upanishad through a competent guru. Competent means who knows the Shastra. Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru. From such Guru that you have a knowledge. That is a bow. Okay, great bow. That bow is to be gained from a teacher. Dhanur, because Upanishad, you can buy a book, Upanishad. That doesn't become a bow. When you have a book called Upanishad. Upanishadam. Therefore, it is a word called Upanishadam. Acharyat Sakashat. Shrotriya Brahmanishta Acharyat Sakashat. Kya, what? Upanishad Upadeshaha. Tadeva Upanishadam Dhanu. Guruji, the Guruji, teacher, who teaches Upanishad and who knows how to teach, that teaching is the bow. Dhanur Gruhitva Upanishadam Mahastram. Sharam Shupasa Nishitam Sandhita. Sharam means arrow. What is an arrow? Your own mind. Antakaranam is an arrow. Buddhi is an arrow. Or you can say Ahankara is an arrow. Figurative, you can say. Ahankara is an arrow or Buddhi is an arrow. What is that? How should the arrow should be sharp, you know, otherwise it can hit the target and fall by itself. It should pierce the target. The edge should be sharp. What is the sharpness? Upasa nishitam, that which is sharpened by upasa, by Om upasana, Omkar upasana. Any upasana primarily means japa. Upasana primarily means dhyana, our traditional dhyana. Why? See, two things. When you do upasana, you learn to notice, first of all, and later on you master the smallest movement, the subtlest movement of the mind. The movement of the mind, the small thinking, I mean, very subtle thinking or passing thoughts are noted that my mind is working like this. You see? So it becomes sharpened. Sharpened means subtle. Mind learns to be subtle and it learns to be focused. That what he says, you know, in the next mantra, Apramattena Vedavyam. We'll see what kind of focus it is. So the Karma Yoga gives Shuddhi, Upasana gives Aikagra. The mind learns to be subtle and focused. With that mind, Ayamya tad bhavagatena chetasa. You have to pull the string of the bow. How it is now, what is to be along, you don't pull the string only, but along with the bow. So here you have to pull back. What is to be pulled back? Pull back the mind from the external pursuit. Pull back the mind from the dharma, artha, kama pursuit. Pull back the mind from any other activity which are redundant for the pursuit of moksha, which are non-contributory to the pursuit of moksha, which are not helping you to grow. It should help me to grow into maturity. And I give up those activities. That is called pulling. So in a Sanskrit jargon, they say, Vijatiya pratyaya rahita. Make the mind free from the other kinds of thoughts. That is called Lakshyam Ayam metad bhav tad lakshyam tadeva aksharam saumya vitti. Lakshyam. So that is the end. That is the point to be hit. What is to be hit is aksharam brahma, means known. And for that, Omkara is avalambanam also. Now this second mantra says, Pranavo dhanusharo yatma brahmatan lakshya uchyate apramattena vedhavyam sharavat tanmayo bhavet. See, Omkara can be looked upon in threefold ways. One, as of linguistically, grammatically, the root is ava. It comes from Om is derived from ava. Ava means rakshane, okay, or to bless. So, Ishvara is always looked upon as the protector. Ishvara is always looked upon as someone who blesses the devotees. So, therefore, Omkara, Om, who sustains everything. Avati Rakshati. So, O Lord, sustain me, help me to be what I am. That is our Rakshane, one meaning. I mean, that is our, and then Pratyaya is man, and then it becomes Kartari, and I don't want to get into that grammar, in a sense of Karta, Rakshana Karta, Sthiti Karta, Ityadi, Ishvara. Now, this is called Aropaha, which is Adhyasaha, not out of ignorance, but deliberate Aropa. Like deliberate Adhyasa, like when you see a Murti, when you see Shaligrama, there is Adhyaropa of Vishnu. When you see a gold coin in a puja room, there is Adhyaropa of Lakshmi. It is not like rope snake. This is a deliberate. So Omkara is also looked upon as all the three states of the universe as well as of the individual. Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. A, Uma, three matras. And Vishwa, Tejas and Ishvara. They all the three. Omkara. And when you transcend Omkara, you have Om means Ishvara. And the transcendental nature of Ishvara is Brahman. That Ishvaratvam is Aupadikam. The status of being Ishvara is Aupadikam, because with reference to the Jagat. But what is its Swarupa? It is Brahman. So phonetically, that three matra, A, Uma, Omkara, is Ishvara, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, etc. And that silence that preceded and succeeded before chanting and after chanting, that is symbolizes Brahman. Okay? That is the transcendental nature of the Ishvara. And then also, Omkar, Ishvara is everything. What we said, what is Hinduism, whatever is Ishvara. Discovering the fact that nothing is separate from him and everything is his manifestation. That discovering this fact is with our Vedantic vision. Now, that means all the forms are names and forms are nothing but Ishvara. Since all the names and forms are Ishvara, if you want to call Ishvara by one name, one word, what is it? That is Om. We have seen this. The word Om includes all the sound Om includes all the names and all the form. Therefore, all the forms. Therefore, Om, the Pranavo Dhanuhu, that is Dhanuhu. Okay, that is a bow, Upasana. For that Upasana it gives. So, Dhanuhu. So, repetition of Omkara with Ishvara Buddhi, it gives Antakarana Shuddhi. It gives Vairagya. When one keeps repeating Omkara, Omkara, it gives Vairagya also. And when you do Omkara Upasana is very much valued, because Dhyanam, it also is a Saguna Brahma Upasana. Saguna, it's a symbol of Saguna Brahma Upasana, and it reveals the Nirgunam Brahman as Amatra Omkara. Okay? So, very much talked about in the Shastra. Okay? So, and it is also Ekaksharam. Brahman is also Ekaksharam. Omkara also is Ekaksharam. There is no other one letter only. So, that Brahman, everything has come from Brahman, Avidana, Abhide, Sambandhat, etc. Pranavo Dhanuhu, Sharohyatma, Brahmatat Lakshyam Uchyate. What is Lakshyam? Brahman is Lakshyam. Brahmatan Lakshyam Uchyate. Apramattena Vedavyam. Without any pramada, you should hit the target. May you hit the target without any pramada. What is pramada? He says, Bahya Vishaya Upalabdhi Trishna Eva Pramada. Okay, the desire for external Vishayas. That is Pramada. Okay. Bahya Vishaya Upalabdhi Trishna Eva Pramada. Okay. Tena Varjitena. One who is devoid of it. In other words, Viraktena, Jitendriyena, Ekagrachitte. One who is dispassionate person. What is dispassion? Dispassion in Vyavahara means objectivity. One who looks upon the whole world not as a means of self-fulfillment, not as a means of self-contentment, but world is a means to conduct my Vyavahara. Full stop. That's all it is. Vairagya means to look upon all the relationships. Whole world means all the objects, all the situations, all the possessions as something which is necessary just to conduct my life. Nothing else than that. That is apramattena. What is lack of vairagya? Like virakta. What is lack of vairagya? To look upon the world as a means of my self-contentment, my fulfillment, my self-satisfaction. That is raga. And there is subjectivity. That the dispassionate, free from longing, and very clear about the goal, and therefore having strong commitment to achieve that goal, that is apramattena, or ekagra chittena, means the one who has mastery over one's own ways of thinking, one's own emotions, more than that, one's own values, one's own ideals, one's own definition of success, all that is clear. That person, ekagra chittena, committed to goal, they mean the mind which is free from any other distraction and absorbed in that, that person should be Sharavat Tanmayo Bhavet. May you become one with the target. That story of Arjuna, I don't see anything else. That Dronacharya taking their exam. Not seeing anything else doesn't mean that he was blinded or he was like his eye lens was zoomed, was focused on the one target. Means at the back of my mind, I have only one goal. I'm not interested in anything at this moment. My only focus, my only commitment as of now is to hit that eye of the bird. So also, my only focus is to gain moksha. Everything else is subservient to, in my life. That kind of mindset is called apramatsharavat tanmayo bhaget. And to be focused, one should be free from trishna for vishaya, no longing. The mind should be freed from any other kind of thinking. And that is where the person, it is said, apramattena vetthavyam. Further, you know, it is again and again Aksharam Brahman is revealed for two reasons. Two, it's very subtle vastu. And unless it is told and again, student may not gain clarity and may not be able to own it up. And it is very difficult to know. Cause for a very subtle intellect. Therefore, it says, Sulakshanartham, Sugnanartham, so the student can easily understand and own it up for easy understanding of it. It is said, Yasmin Dev Prithavi Chantariksham Otam Manasah Pranishya Sarvehi Tamevekam Janatha Atmanam Anyavacho Vimunchatha Amrutasya Esha Setuhu. Just as a fabric is non-separate from the thread, so also the entire Jagat is non-separate from this Brahman. Suppose there is a design on a fabric created by threads only. And when you pull the thread from one side, everything gets resolved into the thread. Embroidery, you know what I mean is, suppose there is an embroidery on a piece of cloth. It is nothing but the thread. So, in the thread, everything is woven as though. That means the thread itself appears as a fabric. There is no such thing as a fabric. Fabric is only name given to a form used for a given function. Function is to cover the body. Function is to use it for many reasons. But then ultimately it is the thread. And thread is also what? Ultimately cotton. Similarly, Yasmin Dev Prithvi Chantariksham. All the three lokas, Prithvi lokas, Antariksha loka, and heaven, are permeated in it. They are all woven in it. And Manasaha Pranaisya Sarvaihi. And the mind also, along with all the pranas, means all sense, all activities and knowledge capacity, all the senses of knowledge and senses of action are there woven into that. That is Tamevekam Janatha. May you all know that one vastu, that what is, look at the thread continuity. The question was, Kasvinnu Bhagavo Vignate Sarvamidam Vignatam. What is it that having known which, everything else becomes known? Here, the teacher tells, Tameva Ekam Bija, that is Ek Vastu, that is non-dual, one thing, unto which everything is woven like embroidery on a fabric. Everything is there only in a thread. Similarly, everything is permeated by Ekam Vastu. Having known one, obviously that being the case, you will know everything else. And that is Atmanam. That Ekam is not anything else, but that Ekam is Atma, that is you. Therefore I said, what is Hinduism? everything is Ishvara, manifestation of Ishvara. And then that is you. That is complete knowledge. When you say everything is Ishvara, that means you are the sayer or the seer or experiencer is separate from Ishvara. That is not Advaita. There is some divine principle and we are part of it. The sparks of consciousness theories, the spark of consciousness philosophy. We are not the thread of it. We are not the spark. It is one non-dual consciousness. The spark can be separate, so-called spatially, from the fire, because there is a space in between. Here the very space is manifestation of Brahman. So it cannot be separate. Manifestations may vary, but it is one vastu throughout. And that is why it is ekam. May you all know Atmanam. Anya vacho vimunchatha. May you give up all other speeches. Anya vacho vimunchatha. Vacha means here not just simply talking. Okay. Anya vacho vimunchatha means give up all other pursuits of dharma, artha, kama. Anyavacho means give up all other aparavidya. See, earlier again, continuing the thread, I'm just connecting what was said in the beginning, in between is the same vastu. Student asked, Kasminno bhagavo vignate sarvamidam vignatam bhavati. Knowing which, what is it that knowing which everything becomes known? So teacher says, Tamevakam vijanat. That is one vastu. Yasmin dyauhu prithvi antariksham otam protam manassaha pranaisya indriya sarve etc. etc. That is one vastu. Then student asked that and the teacher said, Dve vidye veditavya parachaiva parach. One needs to know twofold vidya. One is para and apara. And then he started with tatra apara. This is apara vidya. He gave a list. Shiksha, kalpo, jyotisham, etc. Then that time we had seen in Bhashya. Apara vidya is to be studied. For what? To understand that it is to be given up. It means aparavidya is a means for my antahkarana shuddhi. Aparavidya is a means for subtlety of the buddhi, sukshmata of the buddhi. Aparavidya is a means for ekagram, chit ekagram. Mind becomes focused. Having gained that, give them up. Ultimately that is being given up. And therefore says, Anya vacho vimunchatha. Means, give up all karmas, give up all possessions, give up all relationships. What else? That you have to give up all other pursuit. There is only one pursuit, and that pursuit is pursuit of moksha alone. That commitment, may you have this. And that is why then only you can gain moksha. And he says, Asya vimunchatha amrutasya esha seduhu. This is the bridge for amrutatvam. Amrutatvam means nectar, you can say. Amrutatvam means happiness, fullness, you can say. Amrutatvam means, you can say, immortality as well. So, it is a bridge to immortality. The bridge, it is said to be bridge because samsara is equated to an ocean, samsara sagar. You have to cross this ocean. And for crossing the ocean, it is bridge. Please understand. We all figurative. I repeat, Bridge is figurative. No, Swamiji, I have to cross the ocean of samsara. Some, this is ocean of samsara is also figurative. Why? There is no samsara. There is a question of ocean. Samsara is accepted because there is a samsari, and that samsari is born out of ignorance. Ignorance born out of superimposition. Anything born out of ignorance and ignorance caused superimposition cannot be real. It has to be apparent only. It has to be mithya only. And this mithya causes samsara out of Jagat. So it is also equally mithya. When the whole samsara is a mithya, where is a question of crossing it out? So bridge is also figurative, samsara is also figurative, and crossing is also figurative. Therefore, we say na baddhona muktaha, chidananda rupaha, shivoham shiva. I am neither bound nor free. This is what it is. And I think some of you who have heard Puja Swamiji often, you know this bhajan, mohe lagi lagan Guru Charan ki, Guru Charan ki. In that there is a line, भव सागर अब सूख गया है फिक्र नहीं मुझे तरनन की. I am not worried that I am about crossing the ocean of samsara. Because why? It is all dried. The ocean of samsara is dried. Which ocean of samsara? How can you dry up this ocean? Anything that dries up cannot be called as ocean. It has to be only river, or small river or rivulets, or it can be called as a lake. But if it is a ocean, how you say that it is dried up? Because there was no real ocean. And therefore it can be dried. That which it cannot be dried up is ocean. Remember, that verse of Bhagavad Gita, Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudramap pravishanti yadvat tadvat pravishanti kama sarve sashanti mapnoti nakamakami. The wise person, fullness, is equated to ocean. Just as in ocean, in monsoon, rivers release cusecs and cusecs of water. It doesn't overflow. And in suppose there is a drought and the rivers don't bring the water, cusecs and cusecs of water is not coming, and the sun is burning from the top, still it remains full. That's what example we give. Ocean is like infinity. Infinity plus something is always infinity. And infinity minus something is always infinity. That is an expression of wisdom. We said example. That is ocean. Now that ocean is crossed. How can you? It is mithya. Samsara is mithya. Samsari is mithya. Samsara is mithya. Therefore, it is a figuratively ocean, and crossing is figurative. Setu is also figurative. So, cross the ocean of samsara. This is the setu, means knowledge is setu. And somewhere else, Shruti also says further, Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. There are no other path. There is no other means. There can be one goal, one dheyam. Are there many paths to achieve this one dheyam, one goal? Are there any options? You have no option to gain moksha. You have no option to pursue the means for moksha also. Because that is what you want. Why? What is the gain? I want ananda. That's what it is, moksha. You have no choice. You are choicelessly seeking ananda. And you have no choice but to study Upanishad to gain ananda and gain the knowledge. Why I don't have choice? I can gain ananda through other means. No. Because it is you. You are ananda. So you have no choice but to study Upanishad, and gain the knowledge. That is choiceless. And that I want moksha is also choiceless. Mama vartmanu vartante manushyav partha sarvasha. Bhagavan says, ultimately they are seeking me. Which me? That is Ananda Swarupa me. When it is said, all of us are seeking Ishvara, it is Ananda Ishvara. And that is you. I still would like to repeat, what is the essence of Shastra? Everything is Ishvara. Whatever is, was, and will be is Ishvara. And that Ishvara is you. That's full stop. Over. That is all. Everything is meant for you to discover this fact. All puja and japa and upasana and tirtha and yatras and yagna yagadis, everything is designed to take you over there. That is the goal. That is even dharma, artha, kama is a goal. These ashramas are not the goal, they are the means. Sorry, dharma, artha, kama is a means. Brahmacharya ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, they are the means. It is means for sannyasa. And sannyasi is not the end. Just taking this clothes is not the end in itself. Knowledge is the end. Therefore, as Puja Swamiji often used to say, marriage is not the end, it is a means. Understand? Means for growth. Both persons should grow. Growing means maturation. Maturation, psychological growth. I am not talking Madhya Pradesh growth. Some couple, when they marry, then they sue me. Sometimes they invite me or the silver jubilee or golden jubilee, something like that. Swamiji, so many years of our marriage, and they show me the album of the marriage. I wonder, are the same or are else? Looking to the size, present size and that size. Ultimately, some features of the face I find out similar. So I trust them, it must be their marriage only. They are showing me their marriage pictures only. I trust them. Okay, that growth I am not talking about. Not financial. Physical growth, no. Psychological. Maturity. What is maturity? Listen this. Freedom. Maturity is freedom. What is freedom? Freedom means less dependency. Less dependency on people, on situations, and on objects. That is a freedom. That's all. That maturity is objectivity. I can be objective in my dealings. I enjoy that inner freedom, relative freedom. They are all cut out. Grihastha ashrama is a means. Vanaprastha is also a means. And sannyasa is also a means. Nanyaf pantha vidyate ayana. Yeah, there are no other means. Okay. To go to different lokas, there are so many means. Shauta karma, smarta karma, laukik karma, etc. can take you to different lokas. But if you want fullness, there is no means. These are all non-thinking statements, and Hindus have bought this by just glossing over. There are 4 margas for moksha. And Swami Dayananda used to say, for the restless, for very active person, there is a marga of karma yoga. For emotional, for devotional, there is a marga of bhakti yoga. For intellectual, there is a marga of gnana yoga. And then Swamiji would say, for the one who is good for nothing, this is Patanjali yoga. He used to lightly say, that's not true. No margas are there. Why there is no marga? You have to achieve yourself. How can there be path to reach myself? Which is ever achieved. नित्य प्राप्तस्य वस्तुनः प्राप्तये कोऽपि मार्गो न वर्तते कस्मात् चेत् अहं नित्य प्राप्तोऽस्मि. Like it is like saying that good old story, the 10th man. To achieve the 10th man, there are so many paths. No, he has to discover I am the 10th. Full stop. Therefore it is says, Amrutasya setuhu nanyah pantha. Then it says, Ratha Ara iva rathanabhau samhata yatra nadya sa esho antascharate bahuda jayamanah omittivam dhyayatha atma swastivah paraya tamasah parastha. Okay? Listen this. Anything that which is subtle cannot have a location. And Atma is Anubhyaha Anushcha. We saw subtler than the subtlest. However, for contemplation or some meditation, Shruti gives figuratively a place. Okay? What is a place for, for mind to focus, for mind to meditate? But that is not the truth. It's a figurative. The place is your heart. Because it is the place where Ahankara abides or manifests. And Ahankara is the self. Like the snake is the rope. You can say that. Right statement is rope is snake. Rope or snake is rope. Rope appears as a snake. Ahankara is Purna Brahman. So it is said, heart is the center of physical body. Heart is the center of Ahankara, subtle body. So it is said to have in a heart. So heart is imagined place for Ahankara to reside. Understand? Ahankara is all over the body. Somebody touches you behind, you, the fellow, suppose he's traveling in a train and somebody touches, the fellow frowns, turns around and frowns. That is Ahankara. You touch me, touch you. As though that third eye of the Shiva is open to burn out that fellow. He gets so angry. No, it is a figurative. Bahuda jayam. The Ahankara, the consciousness in the form of Ahankara is born again and again in many ways. What in many ways? Kruddha, Srushtaha, Pushtaha, Ityadi. It manifests sometimes angry, sometimes compassionate, sometimes loving, sometimes worried, sometimes tense, sometimes agitated, sometimes tensed, sometimes stressed. All these manifestations of self are called as Jayamana, Bahuda Jayamana. And that you please meditate as Om Ityevam Dhyayatha Atma. May you meditate that Atma as Omkara. Swastivav Paraya. For you, this may be auspicious. Tamasaf Parastha. To cross over tamas, to cross over the ignorance. Yes Sarvagna Sarvavit. यस्यैष महिमा भुवि दिव्ये ब्रह्मपुरे हेश व्योम्नि आत्मा प्रतिष्ठितः मनोमयः प्राण शरीर नेता प्रतिष्ठितो अन्ये हृदयं सत्ते हृदये सन्निधाय तद्विज्ञानेन परिपश्यन्ति धीराः आनंद रूपम अमृतम यत् विभाति. Okay. Now सर्वज्ञः सर्ववित् सर्वं जानाति विशेषतः इति सर्वज्ञः. सर्वं सामान्येन जानाति इति सर्ववित्. Both words in English, this is a limitation of English. Both the words in English means all knowing. Sarvagna and Sarvavit means all knowing. But no, one can know in general everything, and one can know in every details everything. Like even when there are 100,000 ornaments, you know all of them. Why? It is gold. Full stop. Samanyataha, Swarupataha, Janami. What is the essence of them? What is the nature of them? It is nothing but gold. In other words, when you know everything samanyata, means what? You know the very cause, upadana karanam of everything. That means what? Anything, the so-called everything is mithya. Just a name and form. So many ornaments, we say ornaments, but wherever you touch, it is only gold. Or what you call ornaments is just a form, just a name given to a given form. So it is name and form. In reality, there is no vastu. Vastu is ekameva, that is suvarna. Ekameva dvitiyam brahma. With reference to 100,000 ornaments, you can say ekameva dvitiyam suvarnam. Full stop. That wise person knows that. Sarvam khaluidam brahma. Everything is nothing but Brahman. That is why they are called Sarvagnaha. It's a, therefore, Samanya Gnanam. Generally, they know. And when you know Samanyana, that means everything is known as Mithya. Okay? You know in detail. Sarvagna in general, Sarvavit in detail. So the Mula Vidya is removed. There are two words you may find from traditional teacher, Mula Vidya and Tula Vidya. Mula Avidya. Mula Avidya means Swarupa Vidya. Tula Avidya means ignorance with reference to details of the things. In case of Ishvara, Mula Vidya is not there, Tula Vidya is not there. In case of ours, only Mula Vidya will go. You know, with the basic thing you will know, but you will not know everything in detail. You can be Sarvagna, but not Sarvavid. Okay. Now, therefore he says, Yasarvad Mahima Bhuvi, his glory is there, everything in the whole earth is its glory. The sustenance of universe is its glory. Such a complex structure, such a intertwined structure works in harmony. That means it's a glory of the Ishvara. Manomaya, Pranamaya, Sharirmaya, Neta, all that is pervaded in him. And where is it? Divyehya Murte, Drivye Brahmapure, Hridaye Sannidhaya. See, this, all these words, Guha, Brahmapuri, then Buddhi Guha, Hridaya, these are all figurative. When you generally say I, the hand goes here. I did it. So heart is the sthanam. Hridayam is a loke, even to ahankara, figuratively. And ahankara being non-separate from Brahman, ahankara is Brahman. So wherever ahankara is, Brahman is. To discover that Brahman, it is said, Brahman is in Hridayam. Okay, Hridaye. And that is also called Brahmapure. It is a Puri, city where Brahma resides. There is no Brahmapuri, okay? There is one near Rishikesh. If you go further, Rishikesh, there is Brahmapuri. But we need not go to there to find Atma. It is all pervasive and it is you that is Brahmapuri. It is Divyaha. Again, it is divine. Divya doesn't mean divine, okay? The divine Brahmapuri. Brahma resides and you dive deep within, meditate and realize. These all stories. This Divya means that which is self-effulgent, not divine. This is not studying Sanskrit, buying the translations, not studying Shastra and keep talking. Divine consciousness. Divine word is undefined. You better define the word divine and then use. Divya doesn't mean divine. Divine can be Divya, but Divya means self-effulgent. Divi Prakash, that which is light, which is self-effulgent, that's self-revealing. The Hridaya is a place where it is self-revealing and to which the Dyotanavati Buddha, Divya Brahmapura means Dyotanavati buddhau. Dyotanavan antakarne. That antakaranam which is of the nature of consciousness, of the nature of light or knowledge, their Chaitanya is obtaining. That is, that is, that is Divya Brahmapure, means Buddhi, which is consciousness, as though located there. That is obtained over there. Sometimes Divya Puri also means heaven. Okay, heaven is symbolizes happiness. So Brahman is Ananda Swarupa, therefore it is called Divya Brahmapure. And Tadvignanena, Tadvignanena Vishishta Gnanena. Vijnana means not science. Gnanam and Vignanam. Vishishta Gnanam. Vishishta Gnanam means what? Gnanena Guru Shastra Upadesha Janitena Gnanena. The knowledge that is born of the Upadesha of Shastra by a Guru who is Shrotri and Brahmanishta. That knowledge. Whenever in Shastra this Brahma Vidya or knowledge is used for self-knowledge, it means this, that Akhandakara Vritti, Purnakara Vritti caused by teaching of a competent teacher. Competent, who is competent teacher? We have seen. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena seva. No, sorry. Tad vignanartham gurumeva vigachet shrotriyam brahmanishtam. The guru who is a shrotri and brahmanishta. That guru, when he or she teaches Shastra, and when the student is ready to own up the knowledge, ready to listen may be there, but to own up the teaching, that means the student has necessary inner infrastructure, psychological infrastructure in terms of purity and ekagrata, focused mind, subtle mind. And that knowledge is paripashyanti dhiraha atma tattvam paripashyanti. Pashyanti, they see. Paripashyanti means they see it clearly. What they clearly? They see themselves as the very substratum of the whole creation. Sarva bhutastamatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yukta atma sarvatra samadar. This is samadar. Samadarjanam doesn't mean useless mind. No. Samadarjan. They're smiling. This is useless. Samadarshana means to see everything as non-separate from me. Please understand, Samadarshanam means what? Listen this example carefully. My darshanam to different limbs of my body. I don't see eyes or hands or leg or any organ to be superior or better than anyone else. Functionally different. Understand? I relate them different. I use my hand, I use my eyes, I use my mouth, face, legs, and then internal also. All glands, pituitary glands and other glands, and my lungs and my hearts and my kidney and bones, everything. That is Samadarshan. Seeing oneness. Functionally different, positionally different. This is nonsense. I have Samadarshanam. So I will put my shoes under my head and my belt in my shoes. No, belt has to be at the waist only. Similarly, I have Samadarshanam. Anybody and everybody, I'll do pranam. No, better don't do that. That means you have not Samadarshanam, you have psychological darshanam. You need to be sent to someone else to do it for mind. You respect everybody. That's fine. You accommodate everybody. That's fine. But then Samadarshanam here means, that means oneness with reference to each others. Okay? Okay. So, Samadarshanam Panditaha Samadarshina. Sunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. This is Samadarshanam. So, okay. Now, further he says, Vidyate Radaya Granthi Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha Kshiyante Chasya Karmani Tasmin Drashte Parahavare. All the knots of the heart. What is the knots? Intertwining or connecting or becoming one of what? Atma and Anatma. That is a problem. Atma and Anatma becoming one. These are the knots. Aham and Idam are becoming one. That is a knot. And different types of knot. Sukhi ham, dukhi ham, kami ham, krodhi ham, purusha ham, stri ham, brahmana ham, kshatriya ham. And now we have regional also. Gujarati ham, Tamilian ham, Madrasi, not Madrasi, Tamilian, Malayali, etc. All kinds of knots. These are all vidyante. They are all resolved and chidyante. All the doubts disappear and all karmas come to end. Because how does the karmas come to end? Because very karta is God. Okay? Karta is not there. Ahankara, who is the fulcrum to which all the karmas are connected, that ahankara is no more there. Therefore, karmani kshiyante tasmin drashte parabari. When the person knows paravaram, atma, the self that is all pervasive is known. Hiranmaye pare koshe virajam brahma nishkalam tat shubram jyotisham jyoti tadyat atma vido. That kosha, again location, Hiranmaye. Everything, this is, understand, so figurative. We know that everything else is located in Brahman, as though if it is. How can Brahman have location in his own creation? No, it is not that. It is Adhishthanam. Located in Brahman means Brahman is the substratum of time, space, and all objects. There is nothing which can be away without it, including darkness and light and including ignorance. It is ignorant because anything is Brahman. That being a case, Upalabdhi sthanatvat, since you can recognize over there, therefore it is called sthanam. Nishkalam means spotless. And that Brahman is Jyotisham Jyotihi. It is a light of the light, they translate. No. Light of the light means that which is self-existent and Shubhram, ever pure, that Atma Vidaha, the knower of the self, knows it as the self. Okay? What is Atma Gnanam? Aham Brahmasmi. Which Brahman you are? Yatova imani bhutani jayante. All that is the cause of the entire creation, that Brahman I am. And he further explains, how come it is Jyotisham Jyotihi? What is the source? It is the light of all the sources of light. He explains this further. To show us light doesn't mean light per se, what we say. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhata sarvamidam vibhati. This mantra is chanted when we do arti to Bhagavan. Okay, Bhagavan, you are that light which cannot be illuminated, which cannot be revealed by sun, by moon, by stars, nor even lightning. There is a question of this fire which I am showing it. You cannot reveal it because tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. You are the light. You are that vastu which gives effulgence to sun. You are the light which gives effulgence to stars and the moon and etc. Exactly like, I can give this example. You can say this for electricity. Electricity cannot be illumined by LED light, by halogen light, by tube light or any light, because it is the light of all the lights. It is that principle, that vastu, because of which tube light shines. Tube light borrows its effulgence. Halogen light borrows its effulgence. this LED light borrows its effulgence from the electricity. Similarly, it is a Brahman which is self-effulgent, self-revealing consciousness, because of which the sun is and the sun shines, because of which the moon is and the moon shines, because of which the stars are and the stars shine, because of which the fire is and the fire shines, and because of which I is and I shine. That I who is talking is because of that. And I which is who is sentient is because of that. They are the one, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati, because of whose light everything as though is lighted. Vedame, Brahma Vedam Amrutam Purastad, Tad Brahma Paschad, Brahma Dakshinataschotarena, Adashordvam cha Prasudam Brahma Veda Idam Vishwamidam Varishtam. That Jyotisham Jyotihi, that light of the light is where? It is everywhere. It is in the front, Purastad, it is in the back, it is in south, it is in north, up, down, everywhere. Meaning thereby, the very space is because of Brahman. The space is superimposed on the Brahman. Time is superimposed on the Brahman. Any object is superimposition or superimposed on the Brahman. Adashchordvam cha prasutam brahma vedam. Brahma eva idam vishwam. Idam varishtham. Varishtham means Brahmaiva paramartha satyam. The absolute truth is nothing but Brahman. He just concludes the second Mundaka. So tomorrow we'll take the summary of the third Mundaka. Okay. And next weekend, we can have next Sunday, 29th, we can have question answer as well. So tomorrow is 22nd. 22nd, I will conclude third Mundaka first part, and 28th, I will conclude third Mundaka second part. That means whole Mundaka Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।